Welcome to the Working Man Committee podcast. I am your host, Brandon T. And this is a place where we talk about news you need to know. Now, I know a lot of y'all have been watching the news. Lots happened in the Republican Party, especially in the House of Representatives. And I want to talk about that today. And so I know that the speaker has been voted out by this point. But like I said, I want to go back in time and share an interview with that Matt Gaetz had with Maria Bartiromo from Fox News, and this is going to be telling about the mindset of how what the news media want people to think about the how Washington works and so forth. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth with Adam Gates and Maria Bartiromo and me. And so, with that being said, we're gonna go into it now. So I'm gonna let them start off. Go.
Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I get to respond to your monologue, because if you're saying that I'm standing in the way of all the Republican wins, I'd love you to enumerate them. Watching my friend and mentor Jim Jordan, it was quite painful, because he started by saying we should only pick one fight, the border. But then as the interview went on, he said, well, we should pick a second fight, Jack Smith. And by the time the interview rounded out, he was saying that we shouldn't be funding Ukraine without a plan. And yet the very continuing resolution that you and Jim Jordan seem to be for continues to have $300 million more for Ukraine. So I think we ought to fight on all fronts. I think the border is very important, and the best way for us to advance the Republican border policies is to pass the Department of Homeland Security appropriations bill, do that along with veterans, defense, ag, state and foreign ops. We'll have 73% of the discretionary budget funded, and if the Department of Labor and Education have to shut down for a few days as we get their appropriations in line, that's certainly not something that is optimal, but I think it's better than continuing on the current path we are to America's financial ruin.
Congressman, I understand, and that is why you were on this program.
Yeah, so Maria over there, you know what I'm saying? So he explains, Matt explains himself about what his mindset is and so forth. And you know what I'm saying? I get it, you know what I'm saying? He's defending his viewpoints and his thinking and so forth. And so, like I said, we're gonna go into the serious back and forth at this point. So let's go.
Why you are threatening Speaker McCarthy and trying to shut down this government at a time that the Republicans have finally gotten some upper hands here in terms of wins, able to investigate President Biden on what looks like bribery.
So you see what Maria did there? It's like they're talking past each other, right? She's like, "Where?" She's like, "Y'all got wins. Y'all was able to investigate. You know what I'm saying? President Biden. Y'all was able to. You know what I'm saying? Those are wins, right? It ain't the fact that you know what I'm saying that what Matt Gates talking about. It's about hey, y'all get to look at y'all get a chance to peek behind the screen on Biden. Maybe y'all can find something. My thing is this. Yeah, the Republicans won the House. So I mean they can do that regardless. There's no added there's no you know what I'm saying, no permission needed, you know what I'm saying, for them to actually look into Biden. But Maria acts like there was like some you know what I'm saying, once the House put together there was some kind of duel or a vote or whatever to get to the point where they can look into Biden. Wow, ain't it? I said, keep in mind, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, look over here, not over there. But look, listen, I'm gonna go in more here.
We don't put our pencils down in the investigation of President Biden during a shutdown, so the premise is false. Second, if Kevin McCarthy was actually serious about pursuing the Bidens, he would have sent Hunter Biden a subpoena by now. That's how you know this is sort of failure theater that you're observing. During the first year of Democrat control of the Congress, they brought in Donald Trump Jr. 3 times over nothing. over a nothing burger. And so we seem to be fundamentally unserious in our oversight. But what is serious is the fact that we are spending more than $7 trillion a year, bringing in around $5 trillion a year. And I want to fund the government. I'm not pro shutdown, but the way to fund the government is not the same way we've been doing it since the mid 90s, where it's one up or down vote on the entire government all at once. We should have separate single subject spending bills. Kevin McCarthy promised that in January. He is in breach of that promise. So I'm not here to hold the government hostage. I'm here to hold Kevin McCarthy to his word.
Are there Freedom Caucus members also out of compliance? They were also on the Appropriations Committee. Where is the responsibility for them? Are they also out of compliance?
No, I'm not a member of the Freedom Caucus. I'll let them speak for themselves. But take, for example, the border, this issue.
Did y'all, you know what I'm saying? Did y'all catch what Maria did there at the end? She was like, Freedom Caucus. So she's trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, who the enemies is and so forth. She's like, did the Freedom Caucus agree with you? Or aren't you against the Freedom Caucus? You know what I'm saying? But the thing about this is this. Now the appropriations process, right? Supposed to be done by July. So, you know what I'm saying? McCarthy came in January, and then by July, those single subject bills supposed to be done. But it wasn't done. And it's pushed all the way to this point to CR land, where it's like, oh, we got to keep the government going. You know what I'm saying? And only way we can keep the government going is do a continuous resolution. That means everything gets funded that was been funded the past year with the cost of living of 2-3% increase. So the rate of growth. So it grows more automatically. And then well, it's they're supposed to have done it back in July. They haven't done it, and now it's like, yeah, do this because we ain't done that. But Matt McCarthy promised it. So I agree with Matt here on that point.
You think has great primacy, and I would agree with you. The Department of Homeland Security appropriations bill was passed out of the Appropriations Committee in June, and yet Kevin McCarthy hasn't put it on the floor in more than 100 days. That is not serious. You know why Kevin McCarthy didn't move our border appropriations bill? Because the lobbyists and the special interests who own Kevin McCarthy want to put us in this position where we're backed up against the wall, facing shutdown politics. And what that does is it centralizes power to the people that they buy off with PAC donations and lobbyist donations. And then the membership doesn't get to make real contributions to that process. I'm trying to democratize it.
Uh-oh, Matt hit a hot button right there. He brought it all the way down to, you know what I'm saying, where the money comes for the campaigns. You know what I'm saying? Who the big money? You know what I'm saying? The big money that in turns won't this bill pass. You know what I'm saying? I need this paragraph stuck in the next bill. You know what I'm saying? That's right there who he went after in that statement saying that hey, they only concerned with that. Cause think about it. It could be a bill. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was a random bill that had nothing to do with this amendment was. The amendment was about password sharing of streaming sites and making that more of a crime. It was put in by a senator that had nothing that his state had nothing to do with none of the streaming stuff so forth, but he put it in there out of the blue. And then one crazy thing about that is that there was another senator on the other side of the aisle try to put it in that state had nothing to do with it. And so, like I said, when you get that when that PAC money starts flowing, hey, I need this paragraph in here, I need these extra commas in there, and so forth. And Matt Gaetz pointed that out in that situation. I know.
The bills are being worked on. You just heard Jim Jordan say that they are efforting 4 bills this week, appropriations bills this week to get through. That would partially fund the government. The defense bill as well. You wanted the defense bill.
You see how she hit back the defense bill. Yeah, it's always a defense bill. Hey, Republicans, y'all, hey, y'all spend whatever for defense. You know what I'm saying? And then so she like, oh, don't you want the defense bill to happen? You know what I'm saying? They're trying to do what they're supposed to did back in July. They try to do it now. And one of them bills was the defense bill. Don't you want the defense bill to happen? She's hit it. Don't you not want the defense bill out of everything else? Don't you want the defense bill? Let's see. See, follow the lines here.
To move forward. Did you not?
Yes, that's why I voted for it, and I voted for the rule to proceed onto it. And by the way, don't give Kevin McCarthy credit for the fact that we're moving on to these 4 appropriations bills. That was the deal that House conservatives foisted upon Kevin McCarthy. When he couldn't just move the big spending bills without moving the bills that cut spending, we said, no, no, no. You have to move bills like the state and foreign ops bill, because we don't think we should be borrowing money from China to go fund gay pride parades in Prague or LGBTQ seminars in Indonesia. We don't think that that's a good use of our money. And the only way to do this, Maria, is line by line. Kevin wants it in one big up or down vote, keep the government open, shut it down. I'm saying single subject spending bills. It's the only way to break the fever and liberate ourselves from this out of control spending.
Well, he's doing the 4 bills next week. So
because we're making him. Because we're making
him. He's doing it. So to push now to blow up all of the wins that you all have had now.
Which wins?
See, Maria was like, he's finally doing what he's supposed to do. Why are you trying to stop him now? Why are you trying to blow up the whole situation? He's finally doing it because you're threatening to put him out. You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, all the wins that's happening. Why are y'all trying to get rid of McCarthy and so forth and blow up everything? Because he's doing it now. I know he's supposed to do it beforehand, but he's doing it now.
Please enumerate them.
Well, okay. Well, how about the fact that he has set up a weaponization committee to investigate the DOJ, whether they're involved in a cover-up?
That's
how about
process.
the fact that he has, hold on.
Wait
how
a
about
second.
the fact that he, hold on. How about the fact that he has set up the China Select Committee to keep China to account? And of course, he has launched this inquiry into impeachment, potentially, for President Biden. Is that not what you want?
See what Maria did right there? She's like, hey, McCarthy gave you a committee to look at this and another committee to look at over there. And then he said we can look at impeachment inquiry over here. So you gotta look at a bunch of stuff, but we're not gonna change anything. You should be happy with what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? These committees, you know what I'm saying, are doing their job, and you should be happy that the committees. Don't worry about anything else. It's just the committees. That's it. It's funny how, you know what I'm saying, the Republicans look at stuff. Well, it's part of how the media wants you to look at stuff, right? It ain't about, you know what I'm saying, the important stuff. It's hey, look at this ancillary stuff. Don't worry about the important stuff. Crazy. But hey, let's see this guy.
None of those things are deliverables. Those are steps in a process. Setting up a committee is an end unto itself, only in Washington, D.C. The American people demand results. Hold on, I'll let you talk.
Okay,
Maria,
go ahead.
These committees have done nothing to reduce inflation. They've done nothing to actually constrain the Biden government. We can set up committees and have hearings and yell at people, but at the end of the day, if we still send the check to fund a weaponized government, having a weaponization subcommittee is little relief to the American people. And if any of this was serious, we would be sending out subpoenas and compelling process the way the January 6th committee did. We should be operating like them. Instead, we're playing patty cake with the Bidens. We're allowing them to get away with it. And we're funding it. We're sending the money. If we were serious, use the power of the purse.
Oh, look at him. He got it right there. It's like, hey, all these process things, but y'all ain't putting teeth behind it. You know what I'm saying? Gotta put the teeth behind the process. It's like, hey, y'all can sit over there and talk about, debate, whatever you want to. Like I said, if you ain't putting the process behind it and so forth, there ain't no teeth with it. All right, Matt, get it.
Speaker joined me a week ago and told me that he will, in fact, subpoena Hunter Biden. He said at the appropriate time. But let's be clear.
It's been 8 months. When do you think the appropriate time is?
We would not know
How many months should the American people have to wait before that subpoena is sent? You tell me.
we would not know anything that we know about the Biden family. 176 suspicious activity reports, 20 shell companies set up while he was vice president, the whistleblower testimony. We would not know any of this if not for those committees that he set up exposing all of this. We just heard from Merrick Garland last week.
But you have to follow that to its natural conclusion. It's not enough to expose facts that get people angry and animated. You then have to follow those facts to a conclusion and to accountability. You see, that's what Republicans are bad at. We're great at having the hearings and putting on the performances, but if you're still going to underwrite Biden's debt, which is what Kevin McCarthy did, joining with Democrats on the debt limit deal, and if you're going to join up with Democrats to still fund his government, Merrick Garland will sit there and he'll answer my tough questions and he'll smirk at me or he'll obfuscate, and then guess what? He goes back to the Justice Department and the coffers are full with money from the American taxpayer that gets turned against the brave patriots in this country. What about the January?
I know, Matt Gaetz. Hey, you tell her. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's the point of having all these committee hearings? All we're gonna do is gonna sit there, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk junk to each other, and you're gonna walk off and go about your business. Woo! I heard a Republican talk like this. Wow. Rock on, cuz, rock on.
6 tapes. Kevin promised he was going to release those. I'm still waiting.
Well, the January 6 tapes are available to anybody who wants to see them. He gave them and allowed Tucker Carlson and his team to see them. Congressman, it is true.
No, Maria, they are not available to anyone who wants to see them. That is a factual misstatement. They have been curated for some people in the media and some defense attorneys, but any American cannot see any of the January 6 tapes.
Are you not right now indirectly working with Democrats because you are going to allow Chuck Schumer to come up with a continuing resolution next week to fund the government? That's what your actions are doing. That's why some people feel this is a personal vendetta you have against the Speaker.
No, my vendetta is against a Washington system that allows corruption to put the interests of lobbyists and PACs above the interests of the American people. Kevin McCarthy facilitates that system, and I do deeply resent that. But I'm not working with Chuck Schumer or any other Democrat. I am the one working with House conservatives to require single-subject spending bills. No. You guys criticize me for forcing single-subject spending bills. Then you give Kevin McCarthy the credit for doing it. The reality is this is the only way to liberate
the single bills. I think the single bills sound
right. Why hasn't he done them? It's September. We knew September 30th was coming all year, and Kevin McCarthy has been dilatory. He's been fiddling like Nero as Rome burns.
As we understand it, they're doing this upcoming week, so we will be watching
because
that.
We are making them. They are doing it with a political gun to their head, and you are welcome, America, and we're going to keep making them do it.
Congressman, thank you. Matt Gaetz joining us this morning.
See Maria punch right in the Democrat help. You over here not partying, not doing the Washington way. You must be helping the Democrats because you're not going the Washington way about anything. So you should take the wins that you have been given. The committees and sit on those committees and just sit there and talk. And then when Washington leadership tell you to vote on this other stuff, that's all you do is vote. Don't say nothing at all to nobody but in those committees. And you sit down, be quiet otherwise. Woo. And Maria was like, you should take the wins. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want things to actually work like it's supposed to, you must be trying to help the Democrats. You must be. Because how dare you go against the established order of Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? But I said, I want to show you all that contrast of what, you know what I'm saying, the system of Washington does, debating somebody. Just want to see things like it's supposed to happen. With that being said, this has been the Working Man Community Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon T. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later. Peace.